Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. At long last, Andy, my losing streak is over of NFL weeks. Guaranteed to be a winner in week 4, regardless of what happens tonight or on Monday Night Football. So that feels pretty good. Overall today, I thought the results were fair. There were a couple of games that I might need your help trying to understand what in the F happened. There were some weird ones. But overall, I think we got a very it was a very good, fun week of NFL football. Hopefully, hopefully we can find some winners here on the early markets for week 5. I believe our early looks last week were all winners, so we snapped that streak as well.
2-0 on those. 2-0, you're right. Yeah. We had the Browns. We'll get to the Browns game. We'll go through them in rotation and kind of talk through some of these real quick. But the Browns game was weird. But I mean, we were going to rely on that Browns defense.
I want to start there. What the hell was that? What was that?
It was. Did they have 2 more 4th down sacks? I think they
Baker
did.
Was pretty bad, and they still won. The defense continues to improve and mature, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the pass defense was really good. I didn't even really feel like they were for sure going to win. I think like that last 30 seconds felt like it took an hour.
Oh God, I didn't want to be sweating that, but yeah, the defense was very good. Man. That was a Minnesota team who, scored 30 on Seattle, scored 33 on the Cardinals, a very good team.
Yeah.
I guess the Bengals are 3-1. They took them to overtime, scored 24, probably should have scored more. So this is an offense that has been clicking, has been moving. They got Dalvin Cook back, which doesn't matter. Madison's just as good. 2 really good receivers, decent tight end. And Kirk Cousins was playing well, and yeah, they looked really good at times. So that's what you have to get. I mean, along the journey to being a team that does something in the playoffs, you get some of these stinkers where one half of the team just isn't pulling their weight, and the defense really stepped up. So Minnesota was one of those. That was the only live bet I lost so far today. Was after like the first drive, and I looked and it was the 3rd down for Cleveland, and I clicked an over. And I don't know what the number was. It doesn't matter. It didn't hit.
It wasn't 20. It wasn't 20 and a half. I can tell you that much.
It was not 20 and a half. So that one was a little rough. But yeah, we were proud of the. It's a good. Stefanski is still a young head coach, and a good road win in a pretty hostile environment. You can say different variants of home field. Minnesota is a higher one because it's a big ass loud dome, and the fans were coming off a win last week. So I'm happy with that one.
The end of that game, Baker had a wide open streaking Odell Beckham that he could not connect with that would have put that one away easy. So that was a little sweatier than it had to be. Similarly, my Jets money line was a little sweatier than it had to be. Same deal. Zach Wilson missed a wide open Corey Davis that could have put that one on ice. But ultimately they get the win. But let's go down and react through in true rotation order. Does that sound fair?
Okay. Yep. Skipping Thursday because we already talked about that a little. Washington, Atlanta. Is that where we're starting?
That game was on coke. That was absolutely bananas. That was banana land game. Real quick, if you took the points with Atlanta, you did not. That was not a fair result. Like that kind of sucked. Yeah. And the J.D. McKissic touchdown at the end was insane because honestly, he should have just gone out of bounds at the 1. Right, and the Atlanta guys shouldn't have tried to tackle him.
It was just like the Chargers
let
touchdown.
Him score and let's get the ball back.
Yeah, just like the Chargers touchdown. Like he shouldn't have been trying. He should have been trying to go out of bounds, at the 2-yard line, just lining it up for an easy 99.9% kick. Yes. Especially you have a good kick.
And then you don't give the ball back to Atlanta, and you don't have to sweat out whatever happened at the end of that game. I lost the total on that one. My totals were only 2 this week. Yeah.
That was
when
was
you
the
see
right sign,
kickoff
too.
returns going for touchdowns, it's like, all right, well, not my day today.
I
Ultimately, that
knew a
was
few
not the
people on
deciding
that
factor,
one.
So
Yeah, I
okay.
knew a few people that are on that under, and I thought it was a good look. And just as soon as that game got going, it's like, oh, that's when they're not going to have to sweat. That is absolutely toast. This game is, you put it well, on coke right off the bat. I wasn't involved there. I liked Atlanta as a teaser leg, didn't slide him in. I liked Atlanta as a side. Glad I didn't bet that, I guess. Swearing off Atlanta as a side is probably turning out to be a good idea.
Man,
Detroit,
if you took those
I'm not
points,
gonna
you got burned.
I'm not gonna dwell a lot on Detroit, Chicago. I probably deserved a better fate there. 1 for 5 in the red zone for Detroit. Like I should have at least gotten the back end of a teaser there. So that sucked. But also, I don't know if we mentioned this or how well this was known, but Laser was calling plays.
Oh, okay.
I think that probably
did it matter?
I maybe it does with a different quarterback, with a dynamic quarterback like this. We did see him run a little bit more, and also it looked more like a week where they prepped. Like, I don't think there was any of this. It might be Foles, it might be Andy. Like, it was always going to be Fields, and they planned well for it. So, oh my God, Drew Lock just threw a pick in the end zone there too. That's pretty funny. That's a fitting ending for that game.
Ice.
So, not a ton to say that
the total in this Steelers Packers is going to come down to this last Steelers drive, and if they can get into field goal range. Some of those some people that was a bet side today. Oh no, intercepted. Roethlisberger picked. That's over. Game over. That's why we don't call these live as we're doing these.
We do not. Tennessee Jets, you mentioned, or if you want
let me give you some thoughts on that one. So Jets were the right side. I don't think there's really any denying that. Basically, the entire handicap, the way we broke that down, was exactly what we played out. The Jets won that game, and really they covered that game because Tennessee can't rush the passer. Zach Wilson had all fucking day
and
long.
The secondary still
pocket
not
was
good.
Clean. The secondary is not good. And honestly, like, Zach Wilson was living on the edge. He had a couple very interceptable passes that ended up as like game-changing plays for them in the second half. Notably, the touchdown to Jamison Crowder, which he threw so late and actually behind him and didn't get picked. He could have had a 3-pick day pretty easily, and that could have gotten.
I was just going to throw in there like
Tannehill.
It was the right
balls
side
off guys' hands all day. Yeah,
I think it was the right side in the long run, and absolutely. But when you are on the Jets and you know you're on the right side, you still need to be willing to stomach some high variance from Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a Jets game where you were absolutely on the right side, and he's going to throw a couple of those YOLO balls.
It was almost today.
Bounce the wrong way, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, they should have lost by 1. They lost by 10. Like, some goofy things like that. And so that was one we said, like, off the bats. That's the Jets team will depend on some of the injury status. Injury status went Jets' way. The steam went the Jets' way. It was never really a worry. Cleveland, Minnesota, we already touched on.
Yeah, no.
I will say, somebody did ask me about look aheads. I said I was going to look at look aheads. The only one I really showed an edge on was Cleveland over the Chargers.
Interesting.
A little bit, and then a couple other ones. It's like, man, do I really want to get involved in 2 teams that I have bets on this weekend already? I feel like there's too much stuff that can go wrong. So I didn't end up betting any look aheads. Well, did you have anything else on that, or did you want to just move on?
I mean, Myles Garrett sets the all-time record for sacks for the Browns and through 4 games. So good job by you, Myles Garrett. And in general, like, if one of the key takeaways of this game, and really one of the key narratives that we need to set in, is that the Browns defense is good, right? Like that's going to be an important part of Myles Garrett winning Defensive Player of the Year. People are going to have to perceive this as a good defense. So let's keep beating the drum for Myles Garrett. Yeah, because I think a couple guys probably fell out of the running today. TJ Watt came back. Steelers defense kind of stinks. Aaron Donald, the Rams. That Rams defense might be bad. Washington football team defense.
Finally happy that the Rams defense looked bad.
Actually, you know what? Do we need to give credit to Minnesota's defense in this game? Was it on Baker?
The pass rush was always going to be a little bit of an issue for Cleveland.
Willis
just
went
based
down.
off what they had to start on their
Willis, excuse me.
Yeah. they had a little bit of a patchwork offensive line against what is a decent pass rusher, a couple decent pass rushers at time, and a couple decent linebackers, and better when they even all get healthy here. So Minnesota's defense isn't going to be bad, especially when it gets healthy. So we should give them a little credit for doing some things, especially on the pass rush. But really, Baker didn't have a great day. He could have been a lot better.
Yeah. But hey, you win a game by 7 on the road when your quarterback has like a 50th percentile, or like a D or a D kind of performance.
C- at best.
That's good.
So, speaking of C- games,
hey, you know
Jacoby Brissett would love to have a C- game someday.
What was this? What was that game? What was that? Dolphins were pretty heavily back this week. I thought the move was correct.
I did too. I was very happy with that. I couldn't get close to it. Honestly, I liked. If I'm the Colts, and truthfully, I made this joke. It wasn't even that much of a joke. I said, really, like ideally, I win my Baltimore bet, not by much though. Which Teddy Bridgewater kind of hurt that by getting injured, and I stay away from this Miami bet, and then I bet the piss out of Baltimore next week because Indy has had a really bad spot, 3 straight road games. Indy winning kind of helps that line. I suppose we might see a little bit of an adjustment up there, but what they did was they ran the ball. They ran the ball nicely, and they have a really good running back, like quietly. So getting that,
6.4 yards per attempt for Jonathan Taylor today.
Yeah, not relying on a quarterback who's with mobility issues right now to carry you is going to be going a long way. So I guess. Good job to the Colts, and we'll move on with that one because Miami looked pretty rough at times, especially on offense.
I couldn't understand. Like that game never felt like even the 10-point final margin of victory was not indicative of how much of an ass kicking that was. That Miami just got their teeth kicked in.
And then the total too. It was like 3-0 at one point in the second quarter, I think.
Yeah,
and then that went over the total.
Yeah. Yeah. The totals continue to be very unpredictable, in my opinion, at least. And not just because I'm not saying that because I'm losing on this, but that's there's been some fluky stuff. Giants or New Orleans is another good example of that. A total that was never in doubt was the Carolina-Dallas over. Dallas can't necessarily again, this was an 8-point game, but was it? Like this was this? I mean, it was some garbage points here from Sam Darnold and company. A lot, they played a very competitive half of football. And then in the second half, the Dallas offense went full on. We are as elite as you think we are, and absolutely just torched that Carolina Panthers defense, which we knew was overrated because they were based on who they had played, 3 teams that stunk. And surprise, surprise, the Carolina Panthers give up 40 points to the Dallas offense. Dallas's offense is elite. It is excellent. Those guys can absolutely score. And there were Prescott missed some stuff, I thought, during that game, and they still had absolutely no problem whatsoever finding the space they need. Dallas is going to the playoffs. I think that ship has sailed. NFC East, Dallas, that ship has sailed.
I mean, it would take like another Prescott injury to stop that right now. Same thing with comeback. We mentioned comeback player of the year last week. Said like, hey, it's even money. It'll be minus whatever next week. If you find a rogue number, you should bet that because it might be minus 500 in a couple weeks. It might be minus 500 when it reopens. And the only reason they'll open that market is to hope you put some money on like Jameis or Darnold at this point at big numbers. So
and
Laurent Duvernay Tardif, we're probably gonna put him to bed as far
I think LDT is gonna have to do something pretty special to get back in at this point. I don't see it happening.
My takeaway still was Carolina did some nice stuff, especially in the first half, but it's going to take more than that on offense to keep up with these teams.
Yes. So you need to clear it.
Or to keep up with this team. This offense is legitimately very, very good.
Okay, so Femi is in the chat here. I bet Cowboys 9-1 to win the NFC, 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. Not for me. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but certainly at some point in some high leverage game, in some high leverage moment, the McCarthy effect.
I was just going to say
will undo this team.
Let's go Tampa.
Yeah.
Green Bay,
Yeah.
and then let's go Tampa, Green Bay, and then pick 2 NFC West teams.
Sure.
He's the fifth best coach out of those 5. Like, yeah,
Yes.
obviously the McCarthy might do him in. I don't mind the NFC.
Well, no,
price,
see, this is I'm reusing material here because I think I said this on Gil's show last week, but like this is kind of a bad deal for Dallas long term in the Prescott era because they're going to go to the playoffs this year. They'll have seen, oh my gosh, we were as good as we thought we were going to be. And, they're probably going to win a playoff game at home. And then they're going to go on the road and McCarthy's going to do something stupid and they're going to lose. And then they're going to retain him. And he's going to have another shot with them next year. They're going to play a much tougher schedule. They might not have as much injury luck. Who the hell knows? But, it's going to cement a good 5-year run here for McCarthy. And I think that they probably waste Dak's prime because of that. Sorry, Dallas fans. That's just that's my read.
Yeah, no, it's a fun team, and again, you've seen Stranger Things. We did see just think we're going to get to the Giants next. Some of the Giants runs or the Baltimore run, and granted, those are probably better coaches than McCarthy too, but like a fun offense and stranger things have happened, and having a really, really good offense in today's NFL is one of those things that might lead you to one of those stranger things runs. So yeah, the Cowboys are certainly live, although the coaching mismatches once you get to the playoffs might be a little rough. Giants, New Orleans, speaking of the NFC East, yeah, I had New Orleans in a teaser, mea culpa. That one just felt like it was there when they were up 10, 11 points late.
The fourth quarter, that looked like that was going to be a game over. Our guy Rob, our pizza, that was his bet of the week was the Giants, and I was nervous for him because I thought they were playing well enough to be covering at least, and then lo and behold, they go out and win. I don't understand that game. I don't understand the Saints. I'm probably really not going to bet a Saints game for the next
month.
A couple months. I don't get them. I don't understand what the concept is of how you're utilizing Jameis Winston, and what they have issues with some of their skill position players in terms of being able to create anything. Kamara is kind of the only guy that you can count on, I guess. But yeah, no, it's the defense I thought was going to be able to do better against the Daniel Jones led offense. The fact that Lattimore got absolutely burned on that one long sack passing touchdown. He got put in a rinse cycle. It was weird seeing him get that badly burned. And then they couldn't create pressure. They couldn't do much in overtime to try to stop that scoring drive that was ultimately the game-winning touchdown for the Giants. So good job, Giants. Good job finally getting one. They're still irrelevant to me. I think this is probably a 5-win team, and they'll win some weird games like this. That's about all I got. And that game going over the total was also insane. That was one of the more heavily bet totals we saw all week. That thing got absolutely smashed the under button, and all the overs cashed. So yeah, well, and even with just the way the fourth quarter went, it's like, oh, this is going over. There's a few of these games where you can just see it like, oh, underbackers avert your eyes. Indy, Miami probably being the worst of those. KC, Philly, that's another one I live bet. That was a great game. That was a good game. And honestly, I saw some, we're not going to dwell on what the KC offense did. Obviously, we've seen it before. We'll see it again. It's what it is. You let Tyreek Hill run. Things like that are going to happen. We see underhanded shovel passes. Shit like that will happen when Kansas City has the ball. But Philly, although I want to go back and look how much of the situation was in a very low percentage win probability situation for them, because I think it might be more. I was in and out of that game. I think they might have been in quote unquote garbage time more than I thought. But even before that, the offense was doing some nice things. Granted, this defense has shown that it can be scored on, and we'll see that. I think better teams will do even better. Obviously, you saw what we saw from Philly last week. There's a big step forward for their offense, and maybe this is going to take some time. Hurts is not a first-year starter or a rookie starter, but maybe
pretty much kind of is. Like
Yeah.
he didn't get a lot of playing time last year. So essentially this is your 6th or 7th rookie starter in Jalen Hurts, and it's a new head coach. Like taking this offense might take some time to click. And this was a tough week for them to do because they were going to need to do a whole lot to keep up with this offense. The Chiefs did get into the 40s, and I mean, even CEH looked okay at times. So when they do this, there's not a team of the skill level of the Eagles. You're going to need some luck on your side to get a game like this, even to cover. So,
well, and that's the thing is they probably should have covered. They were playing hard. Jalen Hurts with 400 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, clean game. He fumbled once but didn't lose it. Didn't throw a pick. He had a little bit of chemistry finally with Devontae Smith, so he's getting the ball to the wide receivers at long last. They may have found a player in Kenneth Gainwell. That guy was doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But realistically, the Pat Mahomes offense is freaking awesome. 5 touchdown passes from him today. This is the kind of game that when you look up at his stats halfway through the season, you're like, holy crap, how is it possible? Well, he has games like this where he throws 5 touchdowns. Those there were 2 shovel pass touchdowns, I believe.
One was like an underhand,
and you know what?
Submarine,
I forget,
like a 4-year-old reliever kind of pitch.
The key takeaway, and we didn't even mention it at this point, it wasn't even Pat Mahomes. It was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is
can't let him get behind you, dude.
Undefendable. Yeah. If he's on a day you're playing them, then you have to just hope and pray that Mahomes doesn't quite have the right timing on his pass or something, because I don't know how else you defend him. Tyreek Hill is unfreaking real. This one was tough. Houston
Buffalo, tough hang, tough watch. I mean, I
played
some people like
this one and almost got it with Buffalo alone.
I tried to make a joke about just Urban Meyer should be fired, and some people didn't get it. Chimed in with because I said that Jacksonville lost to this team, and they're like, "Well, I know it was Tyrod. Don't ruin my joke, guys. Like, I just want to see Urban fired." But yeah, it was not great with Tyrod, even though he was playing well. Like it was a rough hang with Tyrod. Davis Mills makes this one of the worst teams I'm probably going to ever have to power rank. It is not great.
Yeah.
They
had extra time to prep for this game too.
They had 10 days. Every time Jacksonville, and granted it was a bad weather game, but that didn't stop Buffalo. And yeah, the 5 turnovers, I think, was, and a couple of them, I mean, the whole second half was garbage time essentially. So it's hard to really grade this team out. So I won't, but yeah. Congratulations to anyone who steamed it up to -19. Everything cash.
Oh, yeah,
Ugly game.
And also,
Buffalo,
honestly,
but we don't learn much about
Buffalo had 40 points, and I gotta tell you,
they left
a bunch of points. They left a bunch of points on the field. I know, and Davis Mills too. They got that early pick off of Josh Allen. They were knocking on the doorstep. They can't convert the touchdown. Realistically, I kind of knew things were going sideways when Houston couldn't convert that early opportunity. So yeah, that was tough. That was a tough one.
If you told me Buffalo went 3 for 7 in the red zone and just didn't tell me the game, I'd be like, oh, that's not good. They kicked too many field goals. Did they even win? They won 40. They won 40-0. 3 for 7 in the red zone, guys.
Yeah, this sets us up for next Sunday Night Football. Bills Chiefs is going to be fucking great. Cannot wait. We'll get to
afternoon
that
games.
Yeah,
afternoon games. Arizona never in doubt. The right side. The Rams defense looked tough, and Murray probably is a legitimate MVP candidate now.
Yep. Secret pod play team total was a no sweater.
Very
did they hit it first half? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. Good job. And also,
maybe. Yeah.
I guess what was your?
It was 20. It was 24-13 at half. So it depends what number you got.
Couple of thoughts. Kyler Murray he's achieving the level that you would have hoped that he could get to when you saw flashes of his brilliance through his first 2 seasons, right? And now he's got so much quickness. He cannot be stopped by linebackers realistically when he decides to run. There was a couple plays where he was just like, there was a completely hopeless play. The offensive line all broke down, and Kyler Murray still managed to scramble for an easy 12-yard, first, move the chains on 3rd and 10, whatever. He was great. His ball's accurate. It looks good. He's got some nice chemistry with his weapons. All told, the Arizona offense is awesome. It's very cool. And in spite of Cliff Kingsbury, probably the general Rams takeaway, I thought Stafford had a sloppy game.
This game is still going on. Jesus.
Which one?
I'm teasing. It was like
it was a long one.
It is.
Yeah. I thought Stafford was sloppy. I didn't love the preparation for the Rams. And honestly, if the Rams sputter at all offensively, you can catch them, and if you're a good offense and you can put up 30 points, you can beat the Rams. And they have too many soft spots that you can pick on in that defense.
Which was where we were at preseason. We just hadn't got to see it yet from a great offense.
Yeah, would have liked to see the Bucs do that to them last week. Thanks a lot, guys.
Nice to get to see it. Seattle, Jimmy G didn't have an injury, did he? This was close.
His calf was wrapped.
I mean, they wrapped his calf for show, but I guess.
Do you really think that was an effectiveness? He got benched?
No, I'm just joking. Like that some people made the comments, but he probably
wasn't great.
Dinged up. He wasn't going to be great. He just never is going to be great. Lance didn't look all that great either, but we haven't seen much of him outside of the razzle dazzle. Let's bring him in to run in a touchdown thing. But the defense was the thing for me in the second half, especially. They were getting gashed by some stuff. So Seattle is a team Seattle and the Rams, we said this, like how often should we take the dogs in the NFC West conference or division?
Hey, real quick. We should
just take the dog money lines.
When Seattle was up, what were they up? 28-13. Did you have any doubt in your mind that this was going to still end a 1-score game?
I know.
How did they do this?
So, we said NFC West dogs. What about NFC West live dogs, second half dogs?
Yeah.
Is it always just going to?
I forgot we talked about the NFC West dogs.
Yeah. The 2-0 straight up. And
2-0 straight up.
Second half. It was San Francisco -2.5, -3. So
one of the things we need to acknowledge, the Cardinals were heavily backed in this game.
Oh, from 6.5 to 4.
Didn't it close 3.5?
It kept going. Around 3. It got below 4.
Penny was 3.5 on this one on the close. I mean that was one-way action. Everybody kind of knew this game was coming, I guess. And similarly, Seattle was pretty heavily backed. So our read on the dogs in the NFC West, I think, is pretty solid. We got one on Thursday Night Football too, so that'll be fun. Just generally, very exciting to see NFC West head-to-heads. I love these games.
Yeah.
Baltimore
won.
Better team, regardless of the
team.
Teddy injury.
I mean, obviously they were the better team in the first half. They were up. They should have been up 21-7 probably. A little bit failure in the red zone. Even when the game was in hand, I would have liked to see them punching those in. But dragging some old running backs out on the field and still making it work. Kudos to them. Mark Andrews is good. Hollywood Brown
got touches.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown made a great catch to make up for his dropsies last week. And Denver, it'll be interesting to see this line. I'm guessing. Do you think they hang it with the
7? Yeah, probably 7. I guess.
With the quarterback injury, are they going to put something up? I'm looking right now to see if we have it. It's up right now. It's a pick with Pittsburgh next week.
Oh, you're talking about Pittsburgh, Denver.
Yeah, with the Teddy injury, I was just curious.
I thought you were talking about Baltimore, Indy. Yeah. Teddy went out with a concussion. What did you think? Bad? Medium?
Quick? Yeah, no, it's bad. Drew Lock is bad. He's bad
the
player.
Teddy concussion. Did it look bad?
Yeah, it was bad for the Broncos. I didn't think. I don't know how to judge these things. Like when Devontae Adams got popped under the chin, I thought he'd be out for weeks, and then it turned out he didn't even it wasn't even a head injury. He just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, this one was weird. It was pretty incidental, kind of got his chin, so it could be a neck, a stinger.
It's such a thing that's unique to the individual, where I don't feel I'm qualified at all to like make judgments on it. Like Justin Morneau was a baseball player. He hit his head going into second on like a knee, and he was just never the same. Like some of these injuries are just way worse somehow for some people. So tough to say. It could be like a career-changing injury, but Teddy's been through that before. He'll be fine. So if it's Drew Lock next week, that'll be a hilarious matchup of Drew Lock and Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh my God. Yikes.
Speaking of him, yeah, he's the best they have. Like, we can shit on them. It's not like, oh my, people aren't clamoring for the backup, because the backups are worse. They are worse than him. That's what's going on there. And Green Bay looked fine. I would have liked to see Green Bay stomp on the throat a little more.
Yeah, I would have as well. And I would also have liked 10. It did feel like they kind of pulled their punches a little bit. I mean, the 10-point margin really wasn't indicative of how convincingly Green Bay was the better team in that one. Injuries starting to pile up for the Steelers beyond just whatever the hell is wrong with Roethlisberger's arm, which is probably just old age.
Just being super old. And I did want to say for Green Bay, Jair Alexander was out for a bit too.
Oh, did he miss? I saw him get burned on the first touchdown. He got burned pretty badly.
Stinger in the shoulder.
That might matter. Yeah,
he matters a lot. If he's out, this defense is bad, and this is an over.
They get Cincinnati next. Yeah, they get Cincinnati next week.
That might be an over, just because
48. I'm looking at a 48 right now. I think that's one of our first looks.
Should we bet one before we even get to anything?
Yeah, I think that was a good one. Let's look at that over.
Even a banged up Jair,
up 49. Somebody already hit it.
Yeah,
I think 49.
I still want that to be in the 50s.
Yeah, I think 49 is still bettable.
All right, at the bet.
Let's get on Green Bay.
Packers Bengals over 49. We got a bet already.
Fun game. I'm excited.
So let's touch quick on Monday night before we get to look ahead.
Okay. Yes. I bet the Raiders. Did you bet the Raiders?
I bet the Raiders. This is the same thing. We talked about this on Wednesday. I DM'd you. I said, hey, I make this like a pick.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Why is this 3.5? What am I missing?
Am I dumb?
We were in the exact same mindset there.
Very excited to see this crowd, to see if it's like, oh, it's the black hole, except it's an away game. So that'll be fun for the Chargers.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a good competitive game, but I think this should be a pick 'em.
Agreed. No, I will take the dog here. You could have got 3.5 earlier in the week. I got some.
Is it 3 now?
It's yeah.
Okay, so the Raiders got bet finally. Okay.
It's a juicy -3. Like, it's leaning still to the Chargers. There's some resistance, but yes, I did bet this at 3 and 3.5, and I'm very happy to have a dog in this one because it should be a pick 'em. Before we do get to the look aheads, real quick, our DFS sponsor has a fun one for new.
Look at that.
Look at that. If you are a new Prize Picks user, you get $10 per touchdown. So if you don't have a dog in this race, you just go out there, you get your $100 deposit match, and then cheer for Tom Brady to really go scorched earth and be super petty about this. So promo code BetSpertsNFL, any new users can get $10 per touchdown if he throws. So if he runs one in, I don't think you're getting your $10. So hopefully mobile Brady doesn't show up. And let's get to look ahead. We got 25 minutes. We made it through the week a little faster this week, so we got more time.
I know, and there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to bring up, and I forgot. I wanted to bring up.
We can sprinkle it in as we talk to these teams.
I loved seeing the head fake on Kansas City with the market this week, where that got pulled down to 6.5, and then somebody just completely dumped a truck on Kansas City this morning. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed whoever was martingaling the Washington football team finally got their win, and it was a bailout. I guess one other comment. Congrats to our friends who had San Francisco Giants to win the NL West. They held on by the hair on their chinny chin. That was a crazy result today. I'm sure you saw
golf chat.
Padres. Hat tip to all our golf chat friends. Okay, let's go down.
New NFT owner.
What would you guess without looking? Or you probably are looking. Thursday Night Football. We have the Seahawks and the Rams. It's in Seattle. So presumably you get primetime home Russ Wilson, which is usually good. He tends to really kind of soak it in these moments. Pick'em is
total, right?
About what we expected, right? Was the look ahead?
Look ahead was like -1
-1, 1.5.
depending.
Yeah. So it came down to a pick'em. Really not a big difference there. Anything about the way that the Seahawks match up against the Rams that tells you this is a stay away? Because the Seahawks defense is pretty suspect.
It is. That's why this total's 54 and short time to prep. Who is it that usually is this? I always got to get my coach advantages, and I feel like the coaching advantage here goes to McVay, just in the matchup. Usually, isn't it? I feel like McCarthy does, or excuse me, Carroll does better against the Niners
in the rock paper scissor.
Yeah, it is like a weird rock paper scissors relationship. But
Niners generally own. They take the they take the Rams lunch money, and the Rams generally take the Cardinals lunch money, but they didn't today.
But it is primetime.
What are we talking about? This is a rematch of a playoff game last year where the Brandon Staley defense was so outstanding, it got him a head coaching job in that one game. And that was in primetime, and that was in Seattle, correct? And what was the number in that one? I mean, that was like we had John Wolford starting, so it's very difficult to try to
I was going to say
it was a mental math, but it was Seahawks by 6. Was that the closing line?
I'd have to double check, man. I felt like I just maybe ignored that one because it was a Wolford game.
You didn't tease the Seahawks or play the under?
Honestly.
It went way over the total. I remember that. That was one that got smashed. The under got smashed in that game, and I think it went over by halftime. If I remember
I'm not betting this game. Like I'm just I moved on minutes ago from this one. The total's high, but this total might be funny when we get to the end of it.
I make this a pick. I can't bet it either. Damn. We'll find something at halftime.
Your newly minted NFL 2021 game-winning winners, the New York Jets, heading to Atlanta. Nope. They're heading to London. I almost screwed that up right off the bat. This is a London game. Not only a London game, but this is the old school, hey, we're going to play these at like 8 a.m. This is the shit we did not have last year because of the COVID stuff. We canceled all the international games. I'm going to have to check. Do we have a Mexico game this year? Don't answer that. I want to find out on my own. But London is, they gave us culture. They big part of, establishing the colonies and eventually, forming America, and we repay them with a Jets-Falcons game. So sorry, England, like this sucks. And the Jets, again, they were fun. It's going to be a high variance team if that's what we're going to get from Zach, if we're going to see some good Zach. Yeah. But the Falcons at times too was a fun offense. I looked at I broke my cardinal rule today. I looked at my fantasy scores because I had Mahomes. I'm like, oh, he's doing good. And I looked, and at that point in the day, I have Matt Ryan on my bench, and I was looking. I should have had Matt Ryan in the game, which in the end, Mahomes ended up outscoring him. I did not make the mistake, but I was looking. I'm like, oh shit, Matt Ryan is having a day, and this offense will be okay against bad defenses, but the defense does really, really, really stink out loud.
You want what's up with this total? 43.5. Excuse me. What is that?
I mean, these London games get weird, but that can't be right.
No, it's if the game in Wembley's played, bet the over, you'll get paid. If it's in Twickenham instead,
they don't play him in Twickenham anymore. They play him. They'll play in Tottenham.
This is at Wembley, right?
I need confirmation on that, but I believe so.
No,
this is at Tottenham.
This is at Tottenham.
Could get Spursy. When things get Spursy, fuck it, we're gonna take this over, aren't we? Hey, it should be like 46.
It should be, yeah. And honestly, this is your magic. This is your secret teeny little angle that exists only for the time being. If the Jets are playing a defense that has a pass rush, then Zach Wilson is in trouble. If they are playing against a team like the Titans or the Falcons, then he is going to be fine. And I think the Jets can pitch some, the Jets can contribute here to a total going over. Atlanta certainly figured out some wrinkles in their offense that finally clicked. So we may get a couple of shots to bet them to the over. This 43.5 is ridiculous. This is definitely
3 points low
in the 46, 47 range.
I don't know, unless somebody knows something about the London weather that we don't, and we look silly. But I'd make this quite a bit higher.
I don't think wind is an issue at Tottenham Stadium. The
acoustics. James says the acoustics. It is a big stadium. It's a very beautiful stadium.
What about do you think Suma's going to go see his Jets? I wonder, because he usually tries to make
far.
He tries to
just
make the effort to go to
or whatever.
What was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, anyone in the chat have any information whatsoever about the travel for these two teams? If you see or hear or read or heard a quote in the post-game pressers that suggests that one of these two teams is going to London earlier than the other team, that is actionable information. It is absolutely actionable information. So please drop us a line, drop it in the chat, say something. There is a decent chance that one of these two teams will make a mistake when it comes to their travel, and that may open up a betting angle on the side. For now, though, the over is the right look.
Just the over. That is getting some steam up. Dolphins, Tampa.
I got 43.5 at -105. I feel pretty good about that one.
Tampa, Miami it's -10 right now, but Tampa playing tonight, probably leave that one alone. 49 in that game. I just hate betting that one.
No interest in that game.
I
have a couple of teams that are kind of on my do not bet or even handicap this game list because I don't understand them. And the Dolphins with Jacoby Brissett are very much on that list.
And I'm right in market with that anyway. I'm fine with that number.
Oh yeah, Brett, weather is good. Yes. Oh, we know what? We should have looked at the weather in Cincinnati too. Let me do that while you kind of break down the next couple.
It's a gorgeous day down there in Cincinnati. The next one we will look at is, we'll skip Miami, Tampa for the most part. -10, 49ish. Philly, Carolina.
It's gonna be 81.
It's a nice day. Philly, Carolina, a couple teams that had some disappointing-ish results, I suppose, if you want to go that way, and against some very, very tough offenses. So teams that are probably a little underrated because they had to play essentially probably two of the best offenses in the league right now. I suppose we could put Buffalo up there, even though they actually weren't that impressive in their 40-point scoring day. Carolina -3.5 at home, total 46.5. I'm very close to this number. I'm a little jilted by what Carolina did today, but I guess we'll find out how the horn injury, and just in general, how this defense plays against some better offenses. And again, how this Eagles offense plays against a defense that doesn't stink out loud and doesn't have to be that good, because the team can just score 40 points in KC. So pass for me on this one. I'm pretty close to that number. I make it right around 4. I'm fine with that.
Me too.
New Orleans, Washington football team, a couple teams that we're not betting New Orleans games, so it doesn't matter.
I'm just remembering right now, I forgot to put my winning percentages in the pick predictor game. Damn it.
Well, you probably gained on the field.
Oh, you think?
A lot
Was
of
it a
people
bad day?
points. I don't know, man.
Okay. Well, look.
I set an alarm to do all my contest stuff.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I should have though, because I had some good edges too. I had the Jets, I had the Ravens, and I had the Seahawks all winning. So
Tenny Jacksonville, Tenny -3.5 on the road heading to Jacksonville. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's not really.
That's a weird one.
That's okay.
What?
I don't have it there.
The look ahead here.
Like,
the look ahead here.
Are we assuming both receivers are out again?
The look ahead was 7.5, and it is now 3.5. The total was 52. It is now 48.5. Excuse me? Why in the world would they have adjusted that down? And I guess it's got to be the wide receivers. And honestly, Is it good for Tannehill to have AJ Brown and Julio Jones? Obviously, it's good. But he was completely serviceable in the passing game today in working with the Josh Reynolds and the Chester Rogers and of the world. They were fine. Jacksonville's defense
like a 6.
Not good. Yeah, this is a Tennessee or pass price.
If you're worried about the receivers, pass on it. But
I think this is a Tennessee obvious bet. Honestly,
I'm betting this. Yeah, even with the receiver, my downgrade, my number has the receivers out for this week, so I still make this almost a 6. I'm going to bet this Tennessee minus 3.5 on the road, playing a road dog heading to Duval with facing a interim head coach. That's going to be an easy game, I think. We didn't really get into the Urban stuff. Maybe it'd have to overtime. We'll talk Urban. Overtime
I gotta
is
decide
all
about
Urban
the
today.
total on this one too. 48.5 for that. This seems insane.
It's high
because Trevor Lawrence is going to have all the time in the world again to operate.
Oh, really? You think I have it? I have this at like 48.
Oh, you do? Oh, I'm like at 52. I thought the look ahead was correct.
I leave it. I'm lowering it a little just because of the Tennessee receiver stuff. Like the game's going to slow down a touch, but yeah, no pass rush.
Tennessee's I need to think about that one a little more. But you're firing on Tennessee. I think that's the right side.
Next one, Detroit, Minnesota. A couple of losers from this week. I am very on market with this. I make this an 8.
Dude, a teaser leg of the millennium.
Year of the century of the year. It is.
This is ridiculous.
I'll tease this early.
This is a ridiculously good teaser spot for Minnesota. Like laughable. What is the right leg to put that with is the question.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll find one. Probably Dallas. A fat and happy New York Giants heading to Dallas. That defense can't handle that. Yeah, no. Minnesota. Well, Herschel Walker teaser, baby.
The Dallas Mini.
It's in Dallas, baby.
The Herschel Walker teaser. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good name for it. A good one. Denver, Pittsburgh, pick 'em. If it's Drew Lock, do you still say, well, I'd like to take Pittsburgh and pick 'em at home?
No. They got bet
today. Can't do it.
Somebody out there hit Pittsburgh pretty hard, and it was not the right side. So there's going to be a very cool market on the Pittsburgh Steelers this week is my read. This probably goes to Denver's small favorite. If there's positive news about Teddy Bridgewater's concussion, this probably goes to Denver -3. Then this is probably a game that looks an awful lot like when Denver went to New York for week 1, and they were a small favorite, and they had absolutely no problem winning and covering. So this is probably Denver's right side, but you need a little bit higher confidence that Teddy is going to be under center.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Green Bay heading to the Queen City to face the AFC North leading. Probably it's a tie between some teams. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm very close to this number as well. I'm actually closer to a 3, but it's 3.5. Green Bay is a 3.5 point favorite on the road. And the total here is 49.5. I'm pretty fine with those numbers.
I think Cincinnati probably gets bet. I bet
there's a 4 elsewhere, so I can see them taking some money on the other side of 3. I don't think I'll be in that boat.
No. Over was the right look here, I think. Over,
especially if we have an injured,
J. Alexander. I'm reading now. It does look like he might have broken his collarbone.
If it's more than really? If it's more than a stinger, yes, this over should get bet up. So happy with our overlook there, but agreed. Cincinnati might take this, could close down into 3. Bears, Raiders 4.5. Raiders favored, but Raiders got to play tomorrow yet. So this is essentially a look ahead we're dealing with. Not super interested on that, especially if Laser's going to unlock the full potential of our guy Justin Fields. We'll have to see this total. Total's probably a little low if the Bears offense can do anything. 45.5 out in LA.
Why would they do anything?
I mean, they did a little today. Mooney was wide
They
open
were up
sometimes.
against the Lions are in a different class defensively than Gus Bradley's Las Vegas Raiders, my friend. Gus Bradley's Las Vegas Raiders defense is not to be trifled with, as we will see tomorrow on Monday Night Football. That line is going one way, and it's probably going to 7, honestly. After we see what the Raiders do tomorrow against the Chargers, if they hold serve there, yeah, if you like that one, that one's not going to be around. And honestly, actually, this is probably going to be a pretty decent contingent of Chicago fans in Vegas, right?
Have you been? Yeah, I mean, fall in Chicago's not bad, but I'd rather
No,
be
but
in
you know,
Vegas.
there's probably a lot of people that were. This was one that a lot of Chicago fans, I feel like, had circled, right?
Oh yeah, every home game in Vegas is going to be like, hey, let's go out. We're not going to gamble, honey. We're going to a football game.
They had a decent home field advantage in their 2 games so far this year, but I think there's going to be a pretty decent Chicago contingent that makes the trip out to the desert, if I had to guess. I don't think it matters either way, because I think this is Derek Carr's opportunity to really put a hurting on. I mean, this is a lot like the Bears-Rams matchup, honestly. Obviously, Andy Dalton was in as opposed to Fields, but no, this is the Raiders are the right side here. I think I'm going to think hard about that one. May take that early.
New England, Houston off the board because they're going to play in like 8 minutes. We'll get the rest of these quick. Dallas Giants, we talked about a little as a teaser leg. That is an 8. I'm pretty close to the market there. Wow. See, my biggest market disagreement is, the Saints are probably going to get some sort of downgrade. So like, that one is not going to be there. The Cleveland one, I'm leaving alone. My other market disagreements are Buffalo, KC, and I don't know what I'm going to do with Buffalo this week. It's hard to make adjustments off what we saw there. And then the Indy Buffalo one, or Indy Baltimore, which we'll get to here in a second. So next one that is actually lined is Giants -8, 51. Cowboys -8 over the Giants 51. I'm on market there. Do you have anything?
No, I'm on market there, but I love that teaser leg like we talked about. That's a great one. Let's
Cardinals Niners?
Yeah, I mean, NFC West dog, 4.5 points. I mean,
I have to sit, and I didn't catch all of that second half. I want to watch a little more of Trey Lance in that offense. And really, I might end up sitting there not knowing any more than I know right now, because
I thought he showed a lot of. I thought he looked kind of good.
And that's the thing too. I could say, well, he did this, but he didn't do that. But you get a whole week to prep for this. It could be a whole different game. So yeah, probably dogs. Let's go dogs. Like Arizona,
a full week of prep. Yeah,
Arizona is at the top of their range for where they are at the market.
Very correct statement.
So
very correct.
Getting the Niners at a 3.5 or 4 is probably a decent bet here.
I like
the 4. Probably a closer game.
I like the 4. You want to know what you got? Do you have a guess at what the look ahead was?
The look ahead was, I want to say 2.5.
It was, yeah. That's correct.
So
now it's a 4. That's across the key number of 3. If you didn't know, 3 is a key number in the NFL. I'm going to play the Niners at some point this week. I just need to do a little more research on the injury status of the quarterback.
Yep, would you be more hesitant to play it if they said Jimmy G is playing? He's a starter.
Slightly.
Yeah, it is. Compared to a kid from FCS, it's amazing where we're at. The Chiefs are a 3-point favorite over the Bills. That total is 56.5.
Probably too low.
I could see that getting. I mean, you have these things, and our friend Hector there, SH8, we've mentioned that again in the modeler. He does it pretty well as far as, laying out, if this team's ahead, I'm betting it over. If this team's behind, I'm betting them. Like laying out live betting plans. This is whatever team is behind, it's an overlook. Like the more if one team can score 2 touchdowns in a row, that's got to be very advantageous for an over, because then the other team kicks it into gear a little. And these are just such good offenses and defenses that have been able to be scored on. And if the weather's nice down in KC, which it's fall on the prairie, I think we'll be fine. If it's not too windy down there, this 56.5 might be comically low once we get to the end of the game. That said, I'm not in the business of betting over 56.5.
This is
Chiefs -3 though. What do you make?
I mean, this should be the highest total we have in the NFL all season, honestly.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, these two offenses and these two defenses for sure. Team totals are going to be like
28.5. They probably both are live to go over. I guess I had an appetite to bet the Bills in this game. It's moved in their direction after their 40-0 shellacking of poor Davis Mills. You could have gotten 3.5 with the Bills last week on the look ahead. I'm not taking 3 now.
I had Buffalo and Survivor.
Just made it.
Just
made it.
See, and here's a good question from Austin. Won't both defenses really, truly dare the opposing offense to run, though? Like they can,
sure.
And you still
well,
might.
The Bills. That's what the Bills. That's the Bills' concept. Anyway, like in a neutral game, let alone a game against Kansas City. These two teams played each other twice last year. Regular season and playoffs, AFC title game, obviously. This is the AFC title game rematch. They are both at relatively similar strength now as what we saw them play last year. Bills defense couldn't do anything against these guys. They could not get off the field. Travis Kelce he just utterly embarrassed the Les Frazier concepts in the passing game, if I remember correctly. And honestly, Travis Kelce's due for a big game, probably. Travis, let's hit the Kelce over. I'll remind myself, set a reminder to come back to that later this week.
First half under 28.5, second half over 27.5. That's probably not the worst. Yeah, it sucks. We don't have no Manning casts anymore this year for like 6 weeks.
Stupid.
And yeah, that maybe should we do mini rants at the end? I really, really, really like Red Zone, but he has no grip on when a team should go for 2. The team was down 17, and he said, maybe the analytics are going to say to go for 2. We'll see what they do here. Like, what? Why would you want to be down 9? Like, what? It's basically divided things by 8 at that point. Like, how many times does 8 fit into this? Does that get you closer? I mean, we screw it up all the time in the halftime when we have to think fast too. So I'll give them a little break. But it was funny today that the 2-point conversion stuff and some of these announcers, when they'd go for it on 4th down, be like, "Oh, I don't like this. Too early in the game." Like, I heard the probability doesn't change much.
I heard a lot of Greg Gumbel today. Wow. He probably needed to call it a career at some point before this season.
I'm Team Bryant anyway.
He had some doozies during that Jets broadcast, man. Jets tied at 17-17. He was like, "Oh, the Jets get their second lead of the season." It's like 17-17. Greg, what are you talking about? Yeah, there was a couple like that. Anyway. Yeah, that's a shame. I don't think I have an early lean here on the Bills-Chiefs game, but my gut says that the Chiefs tick back up to a juicy 3, if not 3.5. What do you think?
3. I don't know if we'll see 3.5.
You don't?
I think you'll see. I think you'll see good 2-way action on this. I'm gonna text some people, ask them what they think. People that actually take money on these.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think there's a rush.
How many points did the Buccaneers score tonight?
I say 44. I think Tom Brady goes out there and hangs his age on Bill Belichick.
That'd be funny if they just kneeled on to go up 45-0 and they just kneel.
Kneeled on the kick.
His age.
Yeah.
We got some first touchdowns scores. Brady and Hunter first Henry first touchdown to Sam. Giorgio says OJ Howard first touchdown. Giorgio made a good soccer joke, which I missed. We got Buffalo wins to 0. That hit. That was a good soccer joke on his part. I was live betting
Buffalo
my face off this morning on
the
multiple leagues.
Real quick, I mean, you saw what the market. People bet the shit out of the Pats. Heading into this game,
or the Bucks.
No, the Pat. This is a close 6.5.
Oh, up to today. I thought you meant like the market for the week.
No. This week, like the day of stuff that came in hot was Pats.
Yeah. Well, I think people just thought, well, if the money is going to come in on the Bucks all week long and they're not going to move the number, then the Pats are the bet.
Right. Yeah.
Which makes sense. Whatever. I'm fine staying away and just enjoying a nice second half. So we'll see at halftime.
All right, that's good.
I gotta get this. I gotta like scroll up to find this Buffalo one. So we bet the Cincy over, the Jets over, and the London over. Boy, we could be 1-0, 1-0 before the games even really start. And then I took Tennessee -3 right away. So
I can't wait to get up at 6:30 in the morning on next Sunday.
It's like 8.
Oh, I don't even
party
on Saturday too, so I'm gonna be fucked up.
I'm gonna be taking it easy.
Oh boy. Next
See you half, guys.
Fun, man.
So we got a DMCA violation on that music at the end.
No way.
Yeah, so I made someone pick a different one. Dan picked this up. This is pretty chill.
This is excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
Minnesota, Dallas, City.